Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. I'm your host, Just Jack. Guess what we're going to talk about? Just going to be kind of a quick one here. So I spent 2 hours this morning taking this thing apart. We talked about this yesterday. I went and did a little record trading and picked up a few more Purple Label Beatles albums that I needed. And as I was looking at a section where they keep the Beatles in this shop, they had this player sitting there and it looked like garbage. It looked like crap. Long story short, asked the owner. Some guy left it because apparently he didn't want to take it with him. They didn't want to buy it. It looked really bad. So if you watched my video that I posted before this, then you'll see just how horrible this thing looked. So it looks dramatically different today. It's not like new or, what I see on eBay, up to $300 for it, but I don't think you could get that for it. I wouldn't sell it anyway because I want it because I think it's very cool. But I've done work on it, and like I said, I spent about 2 hours on it. I took it all apart, blew the insides of it out, all the guts and that, wiped the inside shells down, put it back together. I had to do new screws because the door was broken off, and they had broken the little plastic pieces that go in the back, the whole tiny screws, and they're just big enough to keep the door on. They had broken those off, broken the side hinge off that holds the door open on it. The switch over here, which apparently is for a light, was I thought broken off. It was just unhooked. There's a few other things. It was a mess. If you've seen the video yesterday, it was a mess. There was a lot going on with this thing. And I spent, like I said, 2 hours this morning, which may not seem like a lot, but it's kind of a lot to me. But it was a lot of time to try to get this thing and get it into, see if it was working, because me and the shop owner did not know if it worked or not. He said, if you want it, I was going to throw it away. If you want it, it's $10. So I took it, and hey, $10, take the risk. If it didn't work, clean it all up, put it on the shelf. It's a nice display piece. If it did work, I have a working CD player that I can listen to Beatles on. That has the Beatles as Beatle related. So what little I've looked up on this, and I didn't look up a lot because I have things. I'm always so busy, but I've got nothing going on. So this is from 1989, and it was just a limited deal that came out, and they sold through them, and they were gone, and that's it. And I see them anywhere on eBay from $125 to so-so ones to like $300 mint in box and stuff of that nature. So, your mileage may vary. It's up to you. So this is not something I knew about. I don't look into a lot of Beatles memorabilia because I've been down that road, and I've just gutted out 70% of a collection of different things here in this room, and I don't really want to go down the road. I'm trying not to go down the road again of over collecting and making such an abundance of stuff. So that's just too much clutter in my life for what I want to do. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to pull the power cord off of it. This is made to run on batteries. You'll need 8 double D batteries or 8D batteries in order to do it. I don't think it's had a lot of use. I think it's something that maybe somebody had hooked up at once, maybe used a little, maybe not, but left it in a basement somewhere because this thing had tons of dust and dirt and it looked like straw, and I don't know whatever else was webs and everything else that was clogged in this. So this guy brought it in with a big box full of records, and they gave him $200 for the records and said, we can't use this thing. It's unusable. So he basically left it underneath one of the shelves when he left. He was looking at some stuff and left it on accident. They say people do that because they don't want to take stuff back home with them, and if they don't buy it, they'll turn down records, and so they'll go over and okay, well, I'm gonna look around, and they leave, and then later on they find that stack of records sitting somewhere. So, but anyway, whatever. So that's cool because that means the handle did not get all bent out of shape on here. Usually, if something gets a lot of use and it has these handles, they will be pulled out and they will not go back in all the way. So this is a very cool little piece. I've cleaned it up quite a bit. Could use some more TLC, but some of it's beyond my ability. Unfortunately, there was a wire here in the back that connected from the lid to the player itself, and I don't know if it was so pulled out and so frayed from the top not being on and people looking at it, taking it off and pulling on it and stuff, if that pulled that wire out too much, or it's just, age and not being taken care of properly, it was frayed enough that it just popped out. I don't think I applied any overuse to this, but when I was trying to unattach or figure out how to reattach the top to it, I did notice that one of the wires was pulled out, unfortunately. So I don't know if I can fix that. I'm sure if you can get a piece for it and you can solder it back in. It seems like you solder it back onto the motherboard there, run it through, and then it plugs in. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very good with that kind of stuff. So that might be something that if I can't find somebody to do it for me, then it's probably just going to say undone. I do have a friend who kind of rebuilds amplifiers and his guitars and stuff like that, and he's familiar with motherboards for speaker setups and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask him if he thinks he can fix that for me. If he can, that's really cool. And if the feature for it might not even work, I'm thinking it does. I thought originally when I got this, like I said yesterday, this is not going to work. But it does. It does. I cleaned it up. I didn't want to plug it up and try until I blew all the cobwebs out. Took it apart, got all the crap out of it, the straw or whatever was in there with it, and just all this gunk, and get it all out of there before I attempted it. And yeah, it works. It works. So I'm very happy with my $10 purchase. So I've done a few things to it. Obviously, I've cleaned it up, so we'll show it again. It's a little hefty. So this is the front, and it's a whole lot different than what it did yesterday. Alright, and then this is one of the sides of the speaker, and you have the nameplate, fake Beatles name. Some of this, if I hit with some Brasso, I think might clean it up a little more. I don't know. It's more silver than brass, but sometimes you use that Brasso and other things and it kind of works. This is the other side. This is the back side, and if you seen it yesterday, the hinges were popped off and ripped out and unattached. So there's 2 screws missing. So it was a very delicate thing. I didn't, doing this early in the morning this morning, about 2, 3 in the morning, and obviously couldn't go to the store. I went through my pile of extra screws and stuff I had downstairs, and I found 4 that I thought would work. So I'm happy with that. I'm not worried about the other 2. So I did get the door. I got the old ones out, the broken pieces out, and got it reattached. So these hooked with some metal pieces. Or not metal, but plastic pieces that were in there. And the way they were designed is these 2 screws here were about this long, and they went through just enough to reach into those plastic things about halfway and hold this door on. Somebody's rough treatment of it and tossing it around had broken those at the middle point where the screws in. So there's no way to take the plastic piece off of these screws and put it back on. I could have super glued them, but they would not have stayed on. Certainly when I put the screws in, they would not have stayed on. So I just undid the broken plastic pieces from the back of the screws, threw them away. The other screws are very tiny. I tossed those. I got these, which were about double the thickness and triple the length. I carefully did one to make sure it didn't pop out through the other side, and it didn't. So I secured these on with the 4 screws that I found in my pile of screws, and I'm not worried about the other 2 because it works and it's going to face a wall. You're not going to see it. Doesn't matter. I cleaned it up drastically. This front looked pretty horrible. This is the top of it. It looks a whole lot different today. It does have some little marks on it where the vinyl coating has been stuff piled on it, pushed around on it, whatever, and kind of messed it up. I've cleaned the antenna up and made it work a little better. It comes in and out a little better. So that's the antenna. Sorry, I almost poked your eyeball out there. And did that. Cleaned these silver latches on the side the best I could. They don't look the best, but they have rust on the end, on the other sides of them. You can't see the rust, so it doesn't matter. So the bottom, cleaned the bottom up drastically. I've taken the battery compartment apart, blown it out, and got all the gunk out of there. So now that I've done that, you open it up like so, and voila, this is how you would display it. So you have this awesome, wow, nice one. So the lock, there was a locking mechanism to this handle, but it's broken from the inside because of rough treatment over the years. This was all bent up and would not operate properly, so I got that and took it off and straightened it the best I could and got it back on to where it belongs, so that when you close it, this disappears down into the player like it was meant to do. But it does not stay locked open, because that plastic piece that kept it locked in there is broken off by somebody else's mistreatment. The picture was the toughest because it's just paper, and I don't want to, it's cardboardish type stuff, but I didn't want to mess it up. And the stuff I used to clean this was green something, and I forget the name, but I use it in a lot of delicate stuff because it's very environmentally safe and doesn't have any harsh chemicals in there. So I use it to clean record albums and stuff, and it does a very good job, and it's kind of sensitive stuff. So if you're gentle with it, you can use it to clean some nasty looking covers and stuff and not take any of the actual material that the cover's made out of off. But you have to be gentle with it. So this picture is pretty awesome. So I've gotten it cleaned up. I've gotten all the gook out of the corners of it. And actually, up in here, there are 5 lights. And these lights, there is a button here. So right there, you can turn that and the 5 lights will come on and light up the picture of the Beatles. Unfortunately, that is the wire that I was talking about that broke, and you can't see it now because it's behind this latch. This back latch here covers that to protect it, which I didn't know yesterday because the latches were all torn off. So there is the wire right there. So the white wire, there's 2 black and 1 white, and the white one's the one that broke off, and that's preventing the light feature from working. If the light works, I'm assuming it would, since the mechanism itself is working now that it's cleaned up, but the bulbs could be burned out or anything. So like I said, I don't know if it's just rough use by somebody else and they had it so frayed or whatever that I just pulled it just a little tad bit and it popped loose, or somehow, because it was not hooked up to this yesterday when I got it, it was hanging loose and I left it that way, and as I cleaned it I left it loose. I didn't want to hook it back up until I was completely done. So I don't think it was over hard use by me. I think it was just that worn out. But unfortunately, so that's the part I need to talk to my friend and see if he thinks he could replace that for me to see if these 5 lights will work. I've seen a video on YouTube and it would shine down on this picture, which is pretty cool. It's not all that necessary, but it is cool. So this looks totally different than it did yesterday. I've cleaned it up a lot, gotten all the gook out of the corners, taken off the knobs and cleaned under there and putting it back on, all that. Cleaned the little fake Beatles record there. It lights up underneath when it comes on. And the functions all do work. The buttons seem like they don't work, but they do. The skip buttons work. Program button, I'm not sure. I can't seem to get that figured out. So right there, just tracking time. That works. It displays, but the very middle of it is dead. So you'll have the top part and the bottom part of the numbers of what track he's playing, but not the middle part. No biggie, simple to figure out. But I'm just saying that middle part seems to be dead in there, and I don't know, what the deal is. Probably just, this was obviously misused by some fool, and it's a shame. So the radio does work. You can work the radio. That's the dial right there for the stations you want, and that's the volume and all that. This thing is very loud, and the fake tone arm is for playing and pausing the CD, and the CD goes underneath there, which has been drastically cleaned by me, and the eye lined up so that it would work properly, so it's tracking better than it did. The CD I put in here to test it with is my all-time favorite album, and 10 points to anybody who remembers what that is. Here's a hint. So I got that in there. Everything seems to work. It seems to work pretty much perfectly besides the programming function, and with the display having that middle part kind of missing. Nothing's missing on the machine itself. It's just the part that where it displays a digital part, whatever. It just won't show the middle with the numbers in it in there. So I'm not sure about the program. I don't know what you would program it for. No manual. Obviously, I have to look that up online. It's not something that matters. This is something, now that it works, is going to sit over here, and is you can put headphones in here. Doesn't seem to have wireless. I'll have to check that. I haven't had time to do a lot with it this morning. I don't know if it has wireless. I don't think it does. Bluetooth. But I do have old style headphones that I can plug in there and hook to my headphones and listen to it that way. So that's cool. So I can listen to some of my Beatles CDs that I never get listened to, and if I want, instead of listening to records, because I don't have a CD player. Because my Fluence turntable doesn't allow me to add a turntable on. So there you go. So it works. It's in not fantastic condition. I say fantastic because if you've seen it yesterday, you saw this video yesterday and what this looked like, this is fantastic condition. This is fan-freaking-tastic condition compared to yesterday. I got a lot of gook out of it, like I think straw or hay or something, and man, it was a mess. So, does it work? I think I covered that fact. It does work. Works very well. It gets very loud. I'll hook this cord back up. We'll do a quick test of it. I say quick because, YouTube has that pesky rule about copyrighted music. And when I first started this channel, I was in YouTube jail for a while because I continued to do the copyright music, and me and YouTube had disagreements on that whole thing, we'll say. So I was in YouTube jail for a while there. So I finally gave up on it, and I don't do copyrighted music no more. But I think if I get a few seconds, just kind of a demonstration of how this works, I think I'll be fine. We'll see. I was at a record store one day, and I tried to do this series where I kind of go to the record stores I go to, do a little filming, and say, hey, this is, and they play music in there, and some of that music got on one video, and they just kept refusing to post that video. They didn't say anything to me. They just sent me a thing saying your video cannot be posted, see our standards, blah, blah, blah. A lot of blahs in there. And it turned out it's because I had the copyrighted music. So I still want to do a series on the record stores that are in my area, because I think that would be something cool to do. But not the great ones. I have one really good one, and one that's further away. It's really, really great. It's a little over an hour away. But there's some nice records. There's a couple of nice record stores here. Problem is they just really don't get much good, as far as I'm concerned, used inventory in. So I'm going to put this over here where it's going to be its home, and I'm going to hook it up. And it's going to be a little cumbersome because I will have to take this over there. Once I get this hooked up, and give you a quick demonstration of how this works. This is cool. You can look it up online. It's the Beatles pickup CD player / radio. Look it up. You'll find it online. Everything you want to know. There'll be YouTube video how it works. So I really don't need to go through, everything just to show. But I've done all the work to clean this up. I'm going to show it off a little bit and what it does. So it's really cool. This is very cool, and I'm glad to have this in my collection. And it will be used by me to listen to CDs. I just wish that the wire for the light function feature didn't break. I'd like to have had that work and been able to have it work while I'm listening to it. Just for the fact that I do keep it kind of dark in here in the mornings because my wife sleeps in the other room and I don't have a door on here. I took it off to make space. And so it would be cool to have that little light on that as kind of, I don't know. There's a word there for it. But it would be ambiance. Sorry, we'll throw that out. So anyway, so let's put this where it's going to belong. And because I don't have a lot of room to deal with in here, that's why it's going where it's belonging. And we'll plug it up, and I'll show you just a little bit how it works, just enough that hopefully I don't get in trouble with YouTube again. And yeah, you can check it out. This is very cool. This is cool. This is just very cool, and I got it for $10 because they didn't want it, and we're going to pitch it. Nobody wanted to put the effort into it to clean it up. I think now that it's all cleaned up the way it is, even with some of the cosmetic things that's still to it, I think they could very easily slap $50, $80 on this and sell this without a problem to another Beatle fan. I don't see that being a problem whatsoever. But their decision was, we don't want to deal with it. We'd rather throw it away or give it to you for $10. So I profit. It's awesome. I'm not going to sell it, like I said. It'll stay here in my collection, and it'd be nice to have the listen CDs on. So let me hook this sucker up, and we'll check it out real quick. Okay, guys and girls. So here is where this will reside in my collection. So let's see if we can do this without making anybody seasick, shall we? So there you go. So it's very simple. Switches up here, flip it to CD. You'll see there's a light that comes on here so that you can see the display. That still works fine. You hit this button, it opens it up so you can change CDs. Close it back up. This controls your play and pause functions. It gets very loud. Alright, that's about enough of that. We'll stop it because I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm going to leave it displayed right here where it's at. I'll leave it open and I'll kind of draw it back a little bit. So that's its home away from home. Nobody loved it, but I do. And so that's where it's going to go. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It works great. 1 second. Alrighty, so you're back where you started out, sort of. There you go. I don't like the door frame in a way. So there you go. Just turn the mic around. As you see, it works very well. It's very loud. Hopefully, I haven't played it too long that YouTube will complain. We'll find out when I get around to posting this. If so, you won't be hearing this conversation because we'll be doing a new video and doing it even shorter. But I think I might get away with that. I've seen people do some quick things on YouTube and demonstrating their sonic cleaners and stuff, and they've done them real quick and they kind of got away with it. So we'll see what happens. I think YouTube watches me more than other people because I obviously ruffled their feathers. I am a feather ruffler. It's in my job description. Alrighty, so there you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As you see, I got her cleaned up and works good. It was an awesome find yesterday for $10, I think. A couple hours of work on it. And it's, to me, kind of almost like new. I did have two pieces that when I took it apart were rattling around in there and they fell out. Don't know what they are. One's a small, tiny metal rod, about 1/4 of an inch round, about that long. No idea what it went to. Another was some kind of clip that looks like, it doesn't have any wires attached. It's just like some kind of clip that maybe it hooked onto something and kept it in place maybe, but nothing's really jiggling around in there. Those two items, when I turned it upside down to blow it all out with some air dust stuff, they fell out. So not knowing where to go, I just put them on the side of the workbench downstairs, and so it works fine. So I'll either hang on to those for a while or I'll just pitch them, because obviously I don't know where they go to, and I don't think I need them because everything's working just fine other than the light function. So I'm hoping to get somebody who can fix that for me, and that'd be cool to have the lights on in the back shining down on the Beatles, but if not, that's fine too. So very cool find. So I just wanted to update everybody and let you know they work good. So sometimes if you're at a place and you see something very rough there and you're like, and they want to give it to you super cheap and you're like, I don't know, it might be working. Buy it. You never know. You never know. I mean, if they had $20 to $30 on that thing, I would have been a hard pass. I've been, no, there's like a lot going on there. I don't want to touch that. But given the option of yesterday, hey, you can have it for $10 if you want it. Otherwise, we're just going to pitch it. Then, you know, hey, $10 is $10. You know, you waste $10 on 3 sodas a week probably if you buy them at gas stations. They're like $2 now. I went to QT the other day to get a freaking cup of coffee. It was $2.50 or $3.55 for a cup of coffee. So, you know, yeah, look at it that way. It's just something that's affordable, and if you can clean it up and you don't stick a bunch of money into it, then you know it's worth it. So it's an awesome player. I love it in my Beatles collection. I'm glad to have it there, and I plan on using it. And that's what I got for you today. So I might hit a store today and take a look. Going back to work finally because the surgery thing is okay to work now. So finally get to join the living out in the world of whatever it is the living do. So anyway, good talking to you. Appreciate everybody watching this video. Glad you're interested in what I got to say and the things I have to talk about. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I found my fancy graphics, but I don't know what I did with them this morning. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Maybe subscribe. I'm getting more subscribers all the time. That's cool. That means you guys like what I'm talking about. You like me. You like what I'm saying. So that's pretty cool. We just all want to be liked, don't we? And that's about all I got for you right now. So sprinkle a little bit of love out there today in the world, because the world needs more love on it. And you know what John Lennon says, all you need is love. And but we clarified last time, it's also you need cheeseburgers, water, and potty breaks. But other than that, All you need is love. So sprinkle a little love out there on everybody. Do one good deed today for anybody, somebody, doesn't matter what it is. Cup of coffee, give them $1 if they're in the corner. Hair looks nice today, hold a door open. All those are good deeds that sometimes can take somebody in a bad mood and make them go, somebody held the door open for me, I'm going to do that. Do it, man, it actually felt good, you know? Next thing you know, 2 or 3 of us do it, 2 or 3 more do it. Next thing you know, 9 or 12 or 15 or whatever math you want to use, new math or old math, or jack math, which is, I don't know it, it's whatever. You never know. All of a sudden, one of us doing a good deed, it's got half the planet doing a good deed. I know, that's a far-reaching, I know, but hey, you never know. You never know. All right, so thanks for tuning in to my channel. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys again. I know I've got one done. I got a couple more videos done I did yesterday. I'm going to do a couple more today before I get back into my routine of normalcy of working and stuff like that. So I have a few backed up in case I get behind, which I usually do. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Appreciate every subscriber I have on here and everybody who watches us. You're all Beatle-tastic people, man. So I will talk to you later. Have a good day.